In this tutorial, we're going to be teaching you the basics of setting up a listing in your Locked On account. In previous tutorials, we've mentioned how you can add a client and link a property to them. This will add the property as potential. Let's go back to our client that we used in the previous tutorials called Jessica. We're going to open up Jessica's record, and we can see that in the property section underneath the vendor tab, we have the 36 Malua Street, Dolls Point. In the previous tutorial, we simply added this property to the database and did not fill any information in about this. To fill in information about the property, we will go to the Information tab and we will start to fill in the general information about the property. We will see that we've got the basics of what the property is, the address, and then some of the essentials. For example, we're going to put this in as a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and 2-car. We can enter in the last sold price, and we can enter in the last sold date. We can put in the year the property was built, and we can enter in the council valuation and the council valuation year if we have that information handy. The last section, agency ref details, is for internal information about this particular property once it is listed. For example, when you list a property, you will have a key number for it. So we're going to call this Mel. We're going to put it as 36. The alarm code if the property has an alarm code. And we will then enter in any internal notes that will be printed on stock sheets that the agents will be able to use when going through properties of other agents to know specifics about that property. And we would update all of this general information once we have filled that all in, and then you'll get the bar at the top of the screen to let you know once that is saved. Once you have saved the general information about your property, we need to go into details about the land. So the land section is quite easy. We're going to enter in the land size. We can enter in the depth of the block, and we can then enter in the aspect. We're going to say this faces east. The internal square meters of that building, we're going to say it is a 220 square meter home, and the external square meters with 60 square meters of external living. The zoning for this, and we can then tick if it's a house and land package that you are selling. For this case, we're not going to tick that. Once we've entered in all the information, we can update that, and again you will see the green bar at the top once that is saved. Now, setting up more information about the property is we can go into the features, and the features section is where we simply tick the features that this property has. As you start to tick the features, you'll see that they are added on the right hand side of the screen. So if we just select a few random ones here, I'm just going to say that it's got an alarm, dishwasher, floorboards, it has NBN and ADSL and pay TV, and it has a outside spa, secure parking, balcony, a deck, and it's fully fenced. Once you've selected all of your features, update your features and this will save it, and on the right hand side of your screen you'll be able to see all of the options you have selected. This is what will be uploaded to your website portals such as realestate.com.au. Now, the final thing you can add in about the property is the documents. And the documents area will allow you to upload things such as the scanned agency agreement. Let's just pretend that we've been out and listed the property. We've come back in and we've scanned a few documents that we want to attach to this particular listing. We will now attach a document to this so you can see how easy that is to either drop and drag or to select a file from your computer. First of all, we can select the Upload Files option for it to open up our browser on our computer to select a certain file. Here we can see I have a PDF, which is 36 Malua AA signed agency agreement. We're going to select that, and it is now uploaded that particular document against this property. You also have the option that if you open up a window, you can drop and drag a file into the document section. Let's delete this file and re-add it that way. Here you can see I have the PDF. We can select this, drag it across, and we can now see that it's uploaded against the property. To delete a document, you can hit the option here and select delete. To download, click the download option. Now that we have set up all the information about the property, there are two more things that we need to do to get this property as listed in our system. The next is that we need to go to the life cycle area, and in the life cycle section, we're going to go straight to the listing tab, and we now need to fill in the details of this listing. For example, we're going to put this in as a private sale and that we listed it today. The contract was also received today and we're going to set the expiration date as 3 months away. We can see here we have the date withdrawn if the property ever comes off the market, and if you sell the property with a sold by date, you can enter that in. In the listed by, we're going to select my name, and if I had a property PA or assistant or a buyer agent, we could select them there, and a vendor manager to help me out with this particular sale. In the pricing guides, the pricing guide is always the one you can enter in your text, which is advertised online. So we may have in here from 2 million. In the price sorting, this is your hidden figure that we use to match buyers in the system and also upload to portals. So we're going to type in here, without the dollar symbols or commas, 2 million. If the vendor has agreed to pay for a certain amount of marketing, we would enter in that amount here. And we can now see the rates for the property. For this particular property, we're going to say that it is $330 per quarter. There is no strata, but the council is $550 per quarter. Our agency file ref number is simply the internal reference that your office may have for this listing. In this case, we're going to make it the same as our key number, which was MAL 36, and update this listing to save all of the changes we've just made. Now that we've entered in all of the property information and the listing details, there is one final thing to do, which is to update the property status to listed. On the right hand side of the screen, we can see the option to update status. By selecting this, it will show you the timeline that a property takes and your progression through that. This particular property that we entered for Jess was simply a potential. We're going to bypass the appraisal section and put this straight as listed. Once you have selected the listed status, you can then update that, and you will notice that on your summary section, whenever you come into this property, that the property will now be marked as listed. In future tutorials, we're going to teach you how to add photos and marketing to any property in the system.